Plaintiff Kevin Guzman met the defendant on Instagram, and although he allowed her to move in with him, they were nothing more than friends. Kevin claims while he went out of town, he asked the defendant to watch his puppy, but the puppy died while in her care, so he's suing. Defendant Marcella Moya says 2 weeks after moving in with Kevin, they started having sex, but she had no clue that he had a girlfriend. Marcella insists she had nothing to do with the death of Kevin's puppy, and therefore she denies owing.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
So yeah, I met Marcella through Instagram. She was liking a couple pictures, commenting on a couple posts. Her name popped out. I clicked the name. I saw it was a girl. Thought she was cute. Gave her the follow. We started talking. First it was memes back and forth, and then we were actually having conversations. One day she's telling me that she's having issues at home, that she wants to move out, and I told her that I have a room available in my house. And I told her that if she ever needed a crash, I told her I have a place for her. And then she was like, yeah, that's cool. And then after that, she hits me in November.
And were you all dating at that point?
No, we was just friends.
All right, you couldn't come up?
Huh? Excuse
Never
me?
mind, go ahead.
Did
you try at least?
I had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, good. Good man. And being true to your girlfriend. Seriously, I'm not making fun of that. Good.
So she came eventually, and she picked her up from the airport, showed her
So what were you on the internet with her so much for then? I mean, girlfriend. I'm loyal to my girlfriend. Oh, no. I would never hit on her. I would never even look at another woman. Whoa. Why would you say that, Your Honor? I love my girlfriend. What were you talking to her on the internet about? A strange woman who you decided to talk to. Seems like when I found out it was a girl. In other words, if it was a guy, I wouldn't have continued to talk to him. So it was based on her being a female. And that's why you spoke with her, because of her gender. If you would tell me, well, he was a male, then I wouldn't say that. But you specified that because she was a female, you decided to start conversing with her on the internet. What your woman think about that? Come on, my woman. Pardon me? She didn't know, did she?
Nah.
And we're going to keep it a secret. I won't tell the people. You're not going to tell, are you? You're not going to tell.
No, I'm good.
And all you millions of people. Don't you tell her. Go ahead, sir.
First couple of weeks she's at the house, it's fine, everything's cool. I work, so there'd be times I come back home, and then I'll be seeing that there's people over at the house.
First of all, let's get the agreement when she moved in on rent.
So I told her that first 2 months you could come, you could be, it's free.
Okay.
As long as you could get on your feet, find a job, get the good stuff. And she said that was cool. She said that was fine with her. And it would be, after 2 months, she would have to be paying $200 a month. And she said that was fine. She said that it was going to help her. This was going to help her start a new beginning. And I was like, yeah, it's cool,
All right. Let me allow her to give some background, then I'll get back to you. Ma'am?
Your Honor, so I had met Kevin through social media, through Instagram. And when I had met him, we started talking as friends, And
okay. What was y'all talking about? The Bible, the scripture?
No, it was more of
sports.
It was to me it was something like that.
Pardon?
To me it was something like that, but I guess to him it really wasn't at the time. But so I was having issues at my place, and when I was having issues, I had messaged Kevin, and he had said that he had a place, free room for me to go in. He said I could get on my feet. So I took the offer because I needed to get out of Dallas and, change my own pace. So when that had happened, I had met Kevin and I started liking him. Then we had sexual relations when I was with Kevin. Yes. And
What's your woman's name?
yeah.
First name. Just give me the first. Or the last. What's her name? I'm going to tell her to turn the channel before you get in more trouble. Fine. Let her listen. Go ahead.
No, but anyways.
Trying to get his girlfriend to stop from watching. He won't tell me her name, so I can't tell her to stop. Go ahead.
So when I was...
Tell me when the sexual relations occurred, before or after you moved in?
Okay, when I moved in, it was November 2020.
When did the sex start?
It was like, I'd say 2 to 3 weeks into us talking.
Okay. So after living there 2 weeks, you all start dating or having relations.
And so when that had happened, he started acting a little bit weird. Like, it was like 2 or 3 weeks later. And I was like, so one day I had like put on something cute. So I was like, I'm going to see if something's going on, and then he had pushed me off and was like, oh, I have a girlfriend. I was like, then why did you mislead me? I took that really personal, but I understood at the same time. But moving on, so Kevin was out of town, and when he was out of town, he told me to watch his puppy. So I watched his puppy, and at the time I was doing interviews to get jobs for the house. And when
Let's get back to the agreement on rent first. Were you all dating at that point?
No, we was just friends. I had a girlfriend at the time.
Oh, good. Good man. Being true to your girlfriend.
Picked her up from the airport. Showed her the...
What were you on the internet with her so much for then? Girlfriend. I'm loyal to my girlfriend. Oh, no. I would never hit on her. I love my girlfriend.
Plaintiff Kevin Guzman allowed the defendant to move in with him, and he insists they were nothing more than friends. But the defendant claims they were having sex.
Let's get back to whether there was an agreement on rent before you get to the puppy.
He told me when I could move in with him and, I could, get on my feet. That's what he had told me from what I was told.
Money never came up later?
I helped him a couple of times, but during those times I was having a lot of issues with money problems.
Did an agreement ever come up later? He says there was an agreement of $200 a month that was to begin after he gave you 2 months to get on your feet rent free. That's what he said. What do you say?
I just try to pay as much as I could to help him out with the payment.
Okay, there was no such agreement?
Yes, there
Is that
was no
what you
such
say?
agreement. Yes, sir.
All right. Then let me hear from you. She says there was no agreement to pay. She's just help you now and then, doing you a favor. That's what she said, essentially. Let's talk about the emotional distress.
So yes, I was going to work for a meeting. I was going out of town. And it was like only for 3 days. And I had asked her if she could watch the puppy for me. I had bought the food. I had gotten the little pee mat so the dog could pee. It was still a puppy. Everything, the bowls. And I told her everything where it was at. And she said, yeah, that she was going to watch the puppy. Everything was fine. And I said, cool. I come back. And as I'm pulling up to my driveway, I see a little graveyard to my door when I open.
Graveyards.
Like, it's like a little, dirt that got digged up and they put the dirt back on top with a popsicle stick and a sticky note on top with my dog's name on it.
Wow.
That's a lie.
So, I go back inside and I'm like, where's the puppy? I'm like, where's my dog?
That's not true. I'm going to stop and let her address that.
Okay, so when I was getting an interview, I had took a nap. And I heard the puppy, he was crying.
I'm not asking the details of that. You interrupted when we were talking about
Yeah, but I would never just
be quiet and listen.
Sorry.
That's why you're answering the wrong question, because you're not listening to the question. Once again, he just said when he came home, he saw his dog buried near the front door with his name on the grave site. And you said, no, that didn't happen. So the dog wasn't buried in front of the house?
He was. Not in front of
the dog,
house.
So it did happen. Pardon me?
It wasn't in front of the house.
Judge.
It was behind the house.
All right, so it did happen.
It did happen.
And how about the sticks with the dog's name on it?
It wasn't a popsicle stick.
Whatever. Did it stick with his name on it?
Yes.
All right, so it did happen. Don't interrupt no more to say something didn't happen when it actually did. Go ahead, sir.
So I go in, I ask her, I'm like, where's the dog? Where's MJ? That's my like the puppy's name. Where's MJ at? And she's like, I don't know. I woke up and then I found her in the living room and she just wasn't moving. And you wouldn't pick up when I was trying to call you. And I was just
When did she say it occurred? How many days after you left?
She said it was like, I don't even remember.
How many days after you left? Before the dog died.
I'd say about like 2 days.
You say about 2 days.
Yes, sir.
So what happens when you all talk about it?
So I go.
You ask her what happened. Go ahead.
I go and I'm like, what happened? And she tells me that she found a dog there just laying there, not breathing and moving. And then I was just like, I was mad and I was just like, why wasn't you paying attention? Why weren't you like taking care of the dog like you said you would take care of it? And then I just like dropped that. I was so mad. I just like left the room where I was arguing with her. And then I just walked and I just started picking up all the dog's toys. I went clean up the cage. And as I'm cleaning up the cage, I'm seeing a little bag. And inside the bag, I'm seeing crumbs. And I look at the crumbs and they're like pills. And I don't do pills, Your Honor.
What'd you say to her?
I told her, I was like, what's going on? Like, why was this in my dog's cage?
What
like,
did she say?
What are these doing here? She said she didn't know.
All right. Do you recall that conversation?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you said you don't know. Did he show you the pills?
Yes, he did.
And you still had no idea who the pills belonged to? Pardon?
I didn't have no idea, sir.
Okay. And they were in the cage?
Inside the cage.
All right.
And I just started picking up all the dog's toys. I went clean up the cage. And as I'm cleaning up the cage, I'm seeing a little bag. And inside the bag, I'm seeing crumbs. And I look at the crumbs and they're like pills. And I don't do pills, Your Honor.
What'd you say to her?
I was like, what's going on? Like, why was this in my dog's cage?
What
Like,
did she say?
what are these doing here? She said she didn't know.
Plaintiff Kevin Guzman allowed the defendant to move in with him, and he insists they were nothing more than friends. But the defendant claims they were having sex.
What do you want to tell me, ma'am?
When I had woke up and I had heard the dog, slowly breathing, I couldn't really do anything, so that's why I was trying to contact Kevin. And when I was contacting Kevin, he wouldn't answer the phone.
All right, let's get to the rent.
He was arguing to me about me moving out because he didn't want me there anymore. So when that had happened, I packed my stuff and I moved out on June of 2021.
All right. And she moved in November 20. But she says she paid some. How much did she pay between February and June, to your knowledge?
Like
None?
$100 if anything.
Pardon?
Like $100 if anything.
Okay, I'll take $100 off for sure. All right, and the balance is for emotional distress for what happened with your dog. What do you want me to look at?
He was asleep.
No, that's what they do. Get ready on that stomach rub. You probably put him to sleep rubbing the stomach. Right. All right. Yep. Ma'am, are you addicted to drugs?
No, sir.
There were pills in the cage. You acknowledged there were pills in the cage. The dog died sudden. So why did you bury him before he came home? You didn't know where else to put him?
Yes, sir. I just didn't want to leave him there.
Pardon?
I just didn't want to leave him there, laying there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Maybe you didn't know where to put him. You have anything else you want to say? Any final remarks?
No, sir.
All right. I'm going to grant him his judgment. I think that your negligence caused the dog's death. And it's more likely than not that caused the dog's death. And that is the burden that must be proven. And as such, I'm going to grant his emotional distress as well. Have a good day.
I mean, I hope you could do better. Be better, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like be better human. Stop killing dogs. Stop leaving pills.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is he needs to be more honest with me about relationships and stuff. And that I'm sorry about your dog.
Plaintiff Delita King says the defendant is her son, and growing up, he often got in trouble for fighting in school. Delita claims last year she was hospitalized after being stabbed 4 times. And while there, the defendant borrowed her car and crashed it, so she's suing. Defendant Tommy Jones admits he was troubled growing up, but says it was because he wasn't happy with his surroundings and he wanted better for himself. Tommy insists the car was in his ex-girlfriend's possession when it was damaged, and therefore he's not responsible.
Start with you.
Well, my name is Delita King. I'm from St. Paul, Minnesota. I have 4 boys. I'm a single mom. I raised them by myself. Tommy Jones, my son, when he was growing up, he was in a little trouble, like in school, fighting, etc. When someone say something about me or his family members, he gets real aggressive, real defensive about his family. He fought teachers, he fought principals when he was growing up in school.
Starting at what age?
I say about 10.
Did the school ever recommend counseling or something for him?
Yes, we went to counseling. We got kicked out of counseling because Tommy, he thinks he's a comedian. He really likes David Chappelle, so he was cracking jokes and the people didn't like that. So we got kicked out of counseling because of Tommy.
What type of counseling was that?
It wasn't
one-on-one. It wasn't one-on-one.
No, it was family. It was family counseling.
For the whole family, all your 4 boys, you and your 4 boys?
Yes, sir. It was me and my 4 boys.
Did the school ever recommend counseling or something for him?
Yes, we went to counseling. We got kicked out of counseling because Tommy, he thinks he's a comedian. He really likes David Chappelle, so he was cracking jokes and the people didn't like that. So we got kicked out of counseling because of Tommy.
Defendant Tommy Jones is being sued by his mother, who claims while she was in the hospital recovering from a stabbing, Tommy borrowed her car and crashed it.
You never had any one-on-one for him? The violence since age 10 is indicative of something going on, whether it was the absence of a father or whether it's something dealing with either environmental or medical issue. So
it was, he didn't have a father. It was, and then the relationships I was in, there was abusive relationship,
okay.
In and out of abusive relationships. So
yeah.
That kind of led that on for Tommy.
Well, and then that's why you did right, trying to get the entire family counseling, you and the 4 boys. That was a good idea, a smart way to approach it. Sounds like you've been doing your best. And how did things turn out? He finished high school and all that? I'll talk to you in a minute, sir, but I'm going to let your mother give me her take.
Yes, I made sure all 4 of my boys graduated because I graduated from high school. So I made sure that all my boys graduated. I made sure I try to keep them off the streets, not in gangs. For me to be a single mom, I did good.
Right.
None of my kids are in gangs or none of that.
Congratulations. And did Tommy get a career or go and get some paperwork afterward or some type of career?
No, Tommy, right after he graduated from school, he had a child.
That's even more of a reason to get a career, but go ahead.
Well, he had a child. He was young, like I said, kind of obnoxious. So he wasn't really ready for a child. So, but one thing I could say about him, he kept a job. Tommy likes to work. He got a job. He keeps a job.
All right, let me hear from you, young man.
So she is right. I was trouble growing up, but that comes from seeing what she went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, you in high school, you fighting dudes that's like 37, you know what I'm saying? You 15, 16, that's something that's trouble at home, and me being me and growing up to what I grew up to is me wanting different and better for myself. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't discredit her for anything, because she was like my best friend and all, but she did what she did. But other than that, like, it was really mainly me seeing my surroundings and environment and wanting different, you know?
Why you mess up the family counseling?
Oh, I was just young and just reckless, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, now I don't have a lot of respect for that counselor. If a kid is in there doing what kids do, that's why they're in the first place. If what you don't like, counselor, is so bad that you don't want them to come back, that's what they're there for anyway. They're there for help. So how are you going to say, well, I can't help you because you are not behaving properly? Well, that's why I'm here, because of my bad behavior or potential bad behavior. So that counselor, that was, if what you say is true, and I have no reason to disbelieve it, that counselor wasn't a good counselor. That's the purposeless behavior to go to them. And then they say, because of your hate behavior, don't come back. I thought she was going to tell me maybe you pulled out a knife or threw chairs around in the room or something like that. She's talking about you were joking too much.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not going to even put that on you. That's that counselor. I wish that you all had a different counselor. But what have you been doing with your life? She said you work. What type of jobs have you worked since high school? Because you can't get a great job after high school until you get some type of paperwork, skilled trade, 2-year degree, 4-year degree, something. What have you been doing?
I'm basically like an appliance specialist. So I do plumbing. I install dishwashers. I install microwaves.
How'd you learn that?
The job taught me on hand.
Good. All right. That's
been
very
doing that for
good.
about 3 years.
Very good skill. Very good transferable skill. Congratulations. Glad to hear that. Now you should be able to pay your mama her money. Let's see if you owe her. What happened here, man?
Defendant Tommy Jones is being sued by his mother, who claims while she was in the hospital recovering from a stabbing, Tommy borrowed her car and crashed it.
What happened here?
About the car situation. August 9th, 2020, I got stabbed in my head 4 times.
This wasn't domestic. Was this domestic violence?
No. I reunited with my cousin. I ain't seen her in like 17 years. So we reunited, and she was like, do you want to go to a picnic? And I'm like, yeah, I want to get out the house. I don't do anything. So yeah, I'll go out. The whole time I'm with her, she's texting these people, threatening them. So I'm not knowing nothing what's going on. We pull up at the party, the little picnic. We get out, we walk around. Next thing I'm hearing her yelling, and I'm like, look over there and like, what's going on? So I walk over there like, what's going on? Next thing I see her running. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Turn around. They stabbed me 4 times in the head.
Did you ever find out what it was all about?
Over a guy that she was messing with, that I don't even know the guy, don't know nothing about.
Did she get hurt? Hopefully she didn't, but did she get hurt also?
No, she ran. They didn't catch her. They caught me because I was with her.
Okay.
Was in a hospital from July 9th to July 28th. I had to go to the rehabilitation center. My mom didn't like the rehabilitation center that I was in, so she recommended me to go home and have the PT people come and work with me at the house.
Okay.
But during the time that I was in the hospital, Tommy called and asked me, can he use my car to get back and forth to work because he was catching Ubers. At first I said no, and then I said yeah. And then I was in a hospital. I got out the hospital, went home. Tommy called me and was like, Mom, your car got hit. And I said, what you mean my car got hit? He said, someone hit your car. I said, okay, give me more information. He told me that the office wrote a note, put the note on the car, the police, he had a police report. So when I asked him for all that, he didn't give me that. He was saying it wasn't all that serious, whatever. So he had the car towed to my house. So I'm asking him why he towed the car. He didn't give me no explanation why he towed the car. So the next morning, I had someone come with me because I had to go to court and had them driving a car. So we're on the highway. My car's not going over 30 miles per hour. So I called Tommy, like, what's wrong with my front end and all that is messed up. But I'm like, what is wrong with my car, Tommy? He started laughing, talking about, it's only cost $150 to get fixed. We're not going over 30. We're on a highway. We're not even going over 30 miles per hour. So I go to court, get done with the court, get back in a car. I told my friend to go, hit the side streets because I didn't want to get back on the highway. Car kept cutting off. I'm calling Tommy. Tommy's laughing or he's not answering the phone. Okay. Car starts smoking. Oil starts skirting out the side of the car. I'm like calling Tommy. He's not answering. I had to call my youngest son.
Tommy's crazy. He over here laughing in your face. Is he high or crazy?
That's how really disrespectful he is.
Yeah, is he high? He's high or crazy? Is he a dope fiend?
No.
Crackhead.
No, he don't. That's one thing I could say. He don't smoke weed. He don't.
Well, he should.
No type of drug.
Because he getting blamed for it, he might as well go on and smoke the crack because he acting like a crackhead and he being accused of one. And the way he's acting, he'd be better off. At least get you a high out of it. Go ahead.
So he was just telling me it was somebody.
Maybe it's a nervous laugh. Hopefully, is it a nervous laugh? Hope you're not laughing in your mother's face after this happened to her. He does that a lot. You're sure he doesn't have a nervous laugh, ma'am?
No, Tommy is very rude and disrespectful like that.
To you?
Yes. To anybody.
To you. You're not just anybody.
Yeah.
Well, to me and everybody else, Tommy's really rude. Okay. And I felt that me and Tommy had this bond because out of all my kids, I felt me and Tommy was the closest. I mean, I'm close with my other ones, but it's just, I felt I had a bond with Tommy until after all this stuff happened to my vehicle.
So what I'm gathering then, perhaps you all have been so brother and sister-like relationship. Exactly. That's what siblings do to each other, what he's doing to you. So I'll chalk it up to that, sir, because otherwise, you have a problem with me. All right. No, I'm just saying otherwise you have a bigger problem with me for disrespecting your mom in my presence.
Defendant Tommy Jones is being sued by his mother, who claims while she was in the hospital recovering from a stabbing, Tommy borrowed her car and crashed it.
What does he say about paying for the damage, ma'am? What has he said?
He said it's an accident. Accidents happen. And then he laughs in my face like that.
Did he explain whose fault it was?
No, he just said that he went outside. Some random person was driving, hit a couple other cars. I asked him for the police report. I asked him for all that. He never gave me nothing.
All right, sir. What do you say to this?
This is my end of the story. I was at work. Well, I was at home. Let my girlfriend use the car, which my mom told me not to let her use the car. So she dropped me off at work, borrowed the car. I'm at work. My girlfriend calls me, says she parked the car outside. And when she parked it outside, she said somebody hit it. He was hitting multiple cars, but I guess that was a lie. I really don't know the truth. So I told my mom after she got to the hospital that somebody hit her car. Then my girlfriend said somebody left the note on the car saying, like, I waited as long as I could. But I left. I never seen the note. She did let me use her car. She did like put it in my possession. But other than that, like, that's all I really know about the car. I got it towed to our house. I don't really know what happened to the car. The car is messed up.
Where's the woman?
We don't talk anymore.
Why not? You ain't have a car for her to use no more?
Probably.
You taught him everything, ma'am. You did a good job with your 4 boys. But out of the 4, you got 1 sucker, huh? You told him not to give her that car. You lost your car as a result of him going against your rules. You know the thing about it, sir? You would not be liable because you got to prove negligence. And so your mother would have to prove you were negligent, something you did wrong. Because if you're the victim of a third party crime, you're not responsible either, because you would be a victim. The car was parked. Other people hit it. So you didn't have anything to do with it. The problem you had and the negligence you committed is when she told you not to let that woman drive and you did. And everything that follows that, you're responsible for. Had you not went against her request, you wouldn't be responsible today. But thank God you're honest, son, too. Either that or you need to learn the law. Time you said she told me not to give it to her and I gave it to her anyway. I don't know if you noticed I was packing up.
Yeah, so I saw
I'm packing up. I said, okay, that's the end of this. 5,000 is your judgment. Please, you all, I like and admire your relationship with each other, but just make sure you keep that balance between brother-sisterly relationship and parent relationship, meaning respect. All right. So good luck to you. Judgment for you. Congratulations on getting 4 boys through. My mother did the same thing. Single mother, 4 boys. God bless. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
I gave you the possession of my car. I didn't give it to her. I told you not to let her in my car, and you did the opposite, and now my car is sitting and tore up. That don't make no sense. I wouldn't do that to you. But at the end of the day, I love you, and thank you for telling the truth. Now I know the truth. Thank you.
You won your case.
Plaintiff LaQuenta Fluker met the defendant 13 years ago when she stole the defendant's wallet. LaQuenta says they got past that, and she recently hired the defendant to plan a memorial party for her deceased son. But she's suing for breach of contract. Defendant Jessica Jones is a nurse and an event planner and says she agreed to plan a birthday party for LaQuenta, not a memorial. However, she's countersuing her today for breach of contract.
Start with you.
Okay. I met Jessica Jones like 13 years ago. I got off on a bad foot with Jessica. I did something real disrespectful. I had stole her wallet. It's not funny, but I stole her wallet, went to the neighborhood bar, swiped, and I didn't know none of this until I woke up to them at my front door. And I retrieved her wallet, was finna give her the money back, but then the bar owner called me and told me to bring the money to him because he had already paid her. So after that, we never talked about it again. So now we're here to where...
Never again? All right.
No, we never did.
Okay.
We never
still
talked
a drunk or not?
Huh?
Are you still a drunk or not?
No, I'm not a drunk. I just
no
drink
more
on the
stop.
couch.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I've been doing like Quinta's Kitchen, drink and eat.
You are still a drunk. You just said you stopped, but now you stopping first thing out your mouth. I'm drinking.
No, I created a safe space for my kids to have somewhere to go. I rent a hall.
To drink?
To party. Instead of them going to neighborhood bars like I give memorial services.
How old are your kids?
My kids are grown. They are
Let them drink on their own.
I know, I'm just saying, I started this when I lost my son. So on his birthday, I do memorial parties for his birthday.
Okay.
So they can come in and
I
party.
thought you said every time you have a birthday for any of your children.
No. I do events.
Drink.
I do events. I do funerals. I do stuff like that at the hall. And weddings and stuff like that. So I hired her for my son's memorial. She came in, she did it.
You're referring to the defendant?
Yes,
Let me
Jessica.
get some background from her.
Plaintiff LaQuenta Fluker is suing her former party planner, and she admits that when they first met 13 years ago, LaQuenta stole her wallet.
Ma'am?
Hi, my name's Jessica Jones. I'm a nurse and event planner. I met Quinta, it was 7 years ago. I met her through a family member. And as far as the wallet and her being intoxicated, I don't even know where that came from.
All right.
So I don't even know where that came from. Yes, she hired me for an event, but it wasn't for a memorial, it was for her birthday.
Whose birthday?
Her Quinta birthday.
Okay.
And
that's what she told you?
That's not true.
Yes.
I hire her for my son's event. I have the
That's a
flyer.
big difference. You have something to show me?
Yes, I hire her for my son's event
That's a
October
great
last year
difference.
when you and Kenny came dressed
What
up.
page, ma'am?
Page number right here, number 9.
And what is it I'm about to see?
It's his flyer. I hired her to.
No. Who did
Decorate.
you give this flyer? A celebration to reach heaven. Yeah, ma'am. You never.
She told me it was for her birthday party.
No, she did.
I never knew it was for.
She did my birthday this year.
Material? You never saw any material on it?
No. She just reached out to me and asked me, can I do it? I didn't know it was for that.
Yeah, no. Okay. Because you need to know
Okay,
what
and
you're
then,
preparing for, because that's a big difference between the memorial and
he did his. It was
the happy birthday. What?
Right.
And then she did my party February.
But how would she know, ma'am? She based on what you told her, because you've shown me the flyer as if she saw this.
She came and decorated. It was like a players' ball. I did a thing to where she came dressed up. I let her in. It was a cash event. I let her in free. Her and my cousin. They came in
Let
free
who in free?
to the event. I let Jessica Jones in free. After she decorated, they went home and changed clothes. Came back to the party that she decorated.
Okay.
This was October.
Okay.
And I hired her again for my birthday party, February. So she decorated that. They came into that event. They partied as well. I hired her. I sent my cousin, my niece, called me and asked me what was Jessica's number so she could come decorate her birthday party. This was in March. My other niece said, going to give me Jessica's number so she could do my party. I gave them the number. She decorated their party. But now here we are. I hired her for a 50th birthday party for a set of twins. And
Your Honor, I only did one party
I'm
for her.
confused.
I'm just want to make a
Hold on, listen.
Okay, I'm
Because you
sorry.
confused me. So in order to clear it up, you got to hear what I'm asking.
Okay.
You. Did you hire her to do 1 or 2 parties?
I hired Jessica for 4 parties. If this would have been the 5th
It
party.
wasn't.
Ma'am?
No. So she hired me for only one party. I only did one party for her. And I was going to do another party for her. That's why we're here, because I didn't do that party. She's talking about other people that hired me, that paid me, that has nothing to do with her, that she's related to, that I did their party.
I does the cooking for them. And they asked
But
me
you
for the
didn't hire
decorator that
The
does.
contract.
Right.
You
We
heard
always
it.
had a verbal agreement, Your
All right,
Honor.
so my question is, the other parties, was the verbal agreement with you?
Oh, no,
or
it was with them. It was with them. So,
Well, they weren't your parties.
okay, but I'm just saying, I referenced
No, I know. I'm just saying, okay, they weren't your parties.
Okay.
So you are already confused. So it's going to be hard to prove your case. You can look like that all
No,
you
I was-
want.
I was thinking to
it's
myself,
disrespectful.
no, I'm-
You look like that one more time, I'm throwing you out.
Okay,
And you
I'm
just
so
did.
sorry.
You
I'm
did your
sorry.
eyes, all that. Bye-bye. Case dismissed.
God, I did
Yeah,
not.
oh
It's
my
just
God.
my-
Yours is granted.
my
Learn
eyes
to
is
go
crying,
before a
and I'm
judge.
trying to
The way
wipe
you
the
talk,
tears
you've been
without
before a
touching
judge
myself.
already. Bye.
I'm going to make sure you don't get no business from my side of the family.
That's
Period.
fine.
Period, Felicia.